Välkommen alla sammen. This is my last video from the beautiful Montana and Wyoming, and I thought I would just let the nature footage play, and this is a perfect chance to speak about the subject I'm going to speak about now, and it's a question I've been pondering for a long time. What is paganism, and what is it that really sets it apart from the monotheistic religions, at least in the history in the north of Europe, as relevant to this channel? A lot of people like to simplify it. If you believe in one God and follow the teachings of Jesus or Muhammad, you're a monotheist, and if you follow Thor and Odin, you're a pagan. But this is a bad way of thinking about it, and wrong to put labels on each other that way. What most people actually don't know is in Viking times and before, we believed in a single god too. Thor and Odin and the other gods, the deities that we know about, they represent certain spiritual divine energies in the universe. But we too believed in a creator god in Germanic paganism, and all other global pagan religions also believe in one creator god that we are all descended from. Humans, animals, plants, rocks, they're all part of the one great being. We don't know what this god was called in Scandinavia in ancient times. There is some evidence that it is Heimdallr, but that's a subject for another video. So no, it's not the belief in a single creator god that sets us apart from monotheism. Well, how about our afterlife beliefs? They must be a little bit different, right? Christians believe in heaven and hell, and pagans believed in hell, Valhalla, and reincarnation. Yes, this is a fundamental difference. Definitely, I think the historical monotheistic versions of heaven and hell especially has no basis in reality or fairness or what makes sense in the universe at all, created purely for the purpose of controlling humankind, but they still believe this aspect of a heaven, where you go to God and are you reunited with the Creator. We pagans also believe this. In Hinduism and Buddhism, this is called Nirvana, but in the Norse beliefs, it's called Valhalla. Different cultures have different perceptions of what they think heaven should be, but it's all the same place at the end of the day. It's a place where we go when we have reached full spiritual awakening and break the process of reincarnation, break that cycle, and we go to our God and become part of God once again, just like we were in the beginning of times, and become part of this universal collective soul or consciousness or Holy Spirit or whatever you want to call it. And by the way, there are many monotheistic sects that also believe in reincarnation too, so no, the belief in the afterlives is not that different really. So what's different? Is it the belief in magic and the supernatural that sets paganism apart? Yes, after Christianity came in, they did a very good job at making sure that pagans stopped practicing magic, but it was only certain types of magic that they made illegal. Things such as utiseta, blood magic, incantations, sæðir, fortune-telling, these kinds of things were outlawed, but Christians did their own type of magic too, such as sigils, prayer, herbal remedies. These were all things that pagans did as well, so no, magic and the supernatural is not what sets us apart either. How about the belief in spirits? Animism? Yes, that too became very illegal. There were many law books that just the belief in pagan things such as land spirits, Disir, heathen gods, sacred places, spirits in inanimate objects like rings or stones. Believing that those had some sort of spiritual energy was all illegal, but Christians believed in spirits too. Angels, demons, ghosts, ancestors, elves, trolls in the north. These were all well-documented beliefs of Christians in Scandinavia. Only difference is that they didn't believe that spirits in inanimate objects like rings or stones had an energy like pagans did. So what else? Rituals and traditions, maybe? Is that what makes us different? Yes, some rituals were definitely outlawed after Christianity came to the north, and Christian pagan traditions and rituals can be quite different, but other pagan rituals and holidays the Christians simply took for themselves and changed it a little bit and called them their own. You all know these: Christmas, Halloween, Midsummer, or as we say, Sankthansaften in Norway, which is coming up. So it's not that makes us different either. So what is the real difference between monotheism and paganism? Well, two things. The first, as you have all seen that I spoke about in this video, monotheists have a 2,000-year history of trying to force their beliefs on others and suppress others. That's the main difference. They are not doing this today anymore. Most Christians I know are good, open-minded people, and they're not trying to control anyone else. But it's this philosophy that has expanded into other aspects of our life in modern times. It's not the church doing this anymore, it's politicians and the media. This idea of, how dare you disagree with me? You better believe the same thing that I do, or else I will destroy you. 1,000 years ago, in the Viking Age, the same idea happened. It was Christians torturing and burning people who didn't follow their beliefs, but today it's regular people with political views and cancel culture. But this is not the way human beings and paganism are meant to be. Not one story ever in thousands of years of records that we have, not once in the history of the world did a pagan ever try to force their beliefs on another culture. I don't really care what religion you say you are. If you force your beliefs on someone else, that is not the way of humankind, and that is wrong. That is the main difference between the two religions. Now, the only other way that pagans differ from the monotheistic religions is their understanding, curiosity, respect, and cooperation with nature, and more specifically the natural way. It all comes back to animism. Animism is the biggest difference, the belief that everything in nature has some sort of spiritual energy that is to be learned about, used, and respected. That is what paganism all over the world was about. We are all created and part of the one original great being that we are all descended from. Plants, animals, rocks, everything. None is superior to the other. The monotheistic religions somehow got to the point that believing humans are above everything else in the world, since humans are the only ones with a soul, and we are God's children. That is the key difference between monotheism and paganism. Yes, of course, we all have to sometimes, humans and pagans, they have to make use of other living things to survive sometimes, but all creatures have to do this, whether it's humans eating meat or riding a horse to make life more manageable, or cows eating grass, or grass eating up sunlight and water. We have always done this, but it's only to the extent that is necessary. Greed, gluttony, and thinking that you are above other living things eventually always brings destruction and disruption to the natural way. So this is what paganism is really about, and acceptance of this is how we lived harmoniously for as long as time itself. And some monotheistic people believe this too and have respect for nature, and that's all good. I like them too, but maybe the real enemy is not monotheism, but the real enemy is civilization and greed and things like that. So it's not about what religion we want to label ourselves with. It's about following the natural way of life and the universe. The Hindus call this Dharma. The ancient Greeks called it Eusebia. In the north, we probably called it Urlog or something similar. It's just about going with nature and the natural way of things. And if you do this, you have my love and respect. I don't care what religion you are, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Celtic, Native American, Norse. I consider you all kin, and we can all live peacefully amongst our own people and work together and trade goods and knowledge and ideas instead of competing and trying to wipe each other out. It's not the people who are different than us that are the enemies. It's the people who force us to come together and rattle the cage and make us fight and distract us from who the real enemy is, who the ones that are really in charge. So, hope you enjoyed this video. I thought it was perfect to show some beautiful nature here from Yellowstone and the surrounding areas, but that's all today. Vi ses nästa gång.